What I saw. Surprised you got this thing. nobody's in there, which is weird because everybody should be in there. I'm like, maybe they've got another one.
What?
I was like, nobody's in there. I sent him a friend request. I have it. Hello, 917-941. Hello, Anise.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing phenomenal. How are you?
I am absolutely fabulous. I'm thankful I woke up last night. I was one of those evenings I seem to like to wake up in the middle of the night and ponder a lot of thoughts. So apparently I needed to get some clarity on those. So therefore I'm here. I just slept beautifully for like 30 minutes and I woke up and I go, well, exactly supposed to be here. So
That's right.
I've been blessed. How about yourself? I'm thankful every single day that I get an opportunity to, I guess I'll say, be born again and make a difference. So
I
I'm
love
super,
it.
super thankful and blessed.
I love
For
that.
my earphones. So hold on while I'm talking to you. I'm like, where are my headsets? I think they're charging. I was on them so much yesterday. And how about yourself? Right? Every
Oh,
day is a new
wonderful.
day for a blessing, right?
Oh, my
It's just a
goodness.
matter of, are we
Yes.
giving them out or are we choosing and allowing them to be received?
Yes. Yes, Queen. That is exactly how I feel. Every day I'm like, yes, I made it. I'm gonna conquer this day. It's gonna be even better. Magic is gonna happen. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I think, I heard Marianne Williamson yesterday, and I like her approach. I think it was
Morning,
really,
everyone.
good morning. I think it was really brilliant what she said. She said, miracles are what we make, it's what we manifest. And like magic is what we manifest, and miracles are what we do while we're here for others. And it's a gift to God at that point. So I'm like, ooh, I like that. Things we can manifest, and the rest are gifts that are from God that we give to others. So I'll
love
choose
that.
to be of service to others so I can keep giving him miracles and creating magic for myself.
Exactly. And I love the fact that this group, like Sean talks about the doing, right? Because I used to be like, doing mantras for a year, like meditating and writing and vision boarding, but not asking, not doing, not stepping out, because it feels kind of freaky asking, right? Asking for stuff. And when I started doing that, asking, and just walking in that, man, talk about some serious manifestation. So yes, absolutely.
Well, it's very powerful when we think about manifesting. Ask and you shall receive, right? If you have the faith of a mustard seed. So you can't fool them either. Ask and you shall receive. And the minute you take action, the universe opens doors for you. And when I was 16, I had an NDE, like a near-death experience. So I could really say, when you ask, it happens. So be careful what you ask for. you know what I mean? The things that you ask for, because they happen in our lives every single day. Sometimes we just walk around with blinders on when we ask for those miracles, because it doesn't come in the form that we expect it to come in. And so we fail to see it, when in reality, it's the best form that we could receive. And then after we go, wow, I see it, they tend to give us more. But it's acknowledging that we see those gifts and those blessings and that magic happening while we decide to take action, even if it isn't exactly how we think it's supposed to be. It's perfect, is what we are supposed to acknowledge. It's absolutely perfect.
I call it the caca compost to cosmic. It's all in the perspective. Like the fact that you had a near-death experience, yeah, you could take it the wrong way, and wow, that was terrible. But at the same time, I'm sure you have a lot of blessings. I can't wait to connect with you, Anise.
Well, I think we're already connected. I can't wait to meet you.
Yes.
The universe has us already connected. It's just a matter of physically seeing, but spiritually and all the other things that come with it, you know, everything starts as a thought and then is created. So the thought was already there. Sean and Fernando and Darcy and all the people, you know, that are on this call are starting this process. You know, we're all here together. Now it's, what are we going to do with the creation? And we're already serving ourselves by being here. Now, how do we continue to serve others and invite them into the group, invite them into the family, invite them into the opportunity, invite them into the magic, right? And in the miracles that are taking place moments and at every moment.
Dang, Anise, you're like an angel.
Thank you.
Anise is awesome. What's up, Anise? It's Nick.
Hey, Nick, how are you, sweetheart? Your Dan is freaking amazing, by the way.
I'm glad everything's working out.
Yeah, I sent him my credit card. He's already got the reservations for the hotel. We're talking today at 11. Like,
Awesome.
And you're spectacular too, right?
Thank you so much. I see everything come through, so I got my eye on it. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Nick is a magic man, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. That's so kind of you.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Good morning. Who's this? Let me see here.
This is Craig.
Hi, Craig. How are you? Good morning.
I'm doing great. Good morning. How are you? I was
I'm
so
absolutely fabulous.
amazed yesterday that I wasn't able to get on the call. I'm still blown away by that.
Yeah, that's a beautiful space to be in, to know that you're a part of that family and go, dang, I got to step up real fast and play big really quickly, right? Because that's what everybody's doing on this call. And isn't that a beautiful thing? Is everybody is playing this game of life when they wake up every day versus allowing life to pass them every day. So it's just a beautiful space, I think, for everybody.
It really, really is. Yesterday I did a meetup where I set up a meetup for Unblinded for the first time, and I was on here a few weeks ago when there was only 7 of us on the call, and to watch it get to where it is now is just amazing. It's just mind blowing to watch it happen, and to see that this is what it's all about.
For being one of the first ones and being on here till we did it. And I saw your post on Facebook yesterday. Thank you for saying, wow, this is just the beginning of the movement, and I'm glad I didn't make it, and I'm okay that the others didn't show up at my physical location, because Tony Robbins spent lots of money in his, and we had 5 people there, and it isn't a matter of, as long as we're impacting ourselves, and that's what it did, that said it impacted you, we will resonate with others and impact them. So thank you for saying, wow, this is what happened, and I truly acknowledge that, and I'm so grateful and thankful for it, instead of how come I didn't get on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
right? So thank you.
Sean Callagy is now in the building.
And thank you, Craig. It's Orly that wants to bring it to Florida.
Awesome. Craig, let me know when you were doing another one on Long Island.
Hello.
Hello.
Who was that about Long Island?
That's Jacqueline.
Nicole.
Hey,
Jacqueline,
can you hear me?
what's going on? For sure.
Hey, I have a huge
Hey, Craig.
celebration. Let me tell you guys,
What's up? Yes, Jacqueline.
I woke up this morning to having raised $14,000 already for my charity.
Woo!
So today is
Holy cow, Jacqueline, that's amazing.
so today is Giving Thursday. It's 5:30. Give me a break here. It's today's Giving Tuesday for everyone on Facebook. So when you see some wonderful posts come up, I'm extremely fortunate. I only started raising last night, and I set up the post ready for today, and I've already gotten $14,000. So I
That's
am just
amazing.
ecstatic, and we have hopefully a bigger push today. So I'm really hopeful we'll get even higher.
Jacqueline, thank you for standing strong and always being that present and that gift to us so that we can understand what we haven't ever experienced. And it will, and your space will allow us to be the closest as it can be because it's the safest space. You know what I mean? So thank you for doing that. And I don't look at Facebook as regularly as some. I will make certain to go on there today and contribute because it's what you stand for is for all, and therefore it's worthy for all to support. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And you give
So
people
much.
voices that don't have the ability to have their voice heard at this point. So thank you. And it takes a powerful, strong, intelligent lady to have the strength and the courage to do that with something to them that is so big. And now you're giving it back to the world as a gift to us, and therefore it will help light up the world for your daughter. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been trying so hard, and I've been in tears like all of the past 12 hours so many times.
Yes.
These donations come in. So thank you so much.
Jacqueline,
Yes.
I reached out to you, and I want to thank you for everything you're doing from the bottom of my heart. This is Orly.
Hey, Orly.
Hi.
I'm trying for everybody. I really am. There's a lot of
Good.
change to make, and we're making progress, and I'm really excited about that. And I really want 2020 to be a banner year. I have some great programs that I'm really excited to launch. And I'm spending next week, while many of you are at Date with Destiny, I'm going to be in Albany. So not quite the same temperature wise, but I'm hoping to have the same type of breakthroughs.
Oh, I'm sure you'll rock the house and make it hot, even if it's in Albany.
That's right.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, Fernando.
What is going on, everyone? My apologies. I am a minute or two behind. I was just finishing a call with John Baker and his team of 20 for 40 minutes, all about the formula and what we're up to. So I am revved up. I'm trying to calm my energy so I didn't jump in here yelling at everyone. But welcome. We are
Good morning.
Tuesday. Good morning. We got Garrett, Tony, Yamil, all of you. Very happy and blessed to have you on this call today. I didn't want to interrupt the conversations. Did anyone like to fill me in
Thank
what we're
you.
talking about?
Hey, good morning, everyone, and happy Trajectory Tuesday. Fernando, you're finishing a final point, my friend?
No, I am not, Mr. Palagi. Thank you for asking. Please.
Yeah. So what is present for you, Fernando, as we launch into Trajectory Tuesday for today?
Mr. Callaghan, what is present for me is it's like momentum. If I had to pick one word, I would say momentum. We are on a nuclear rocket ship on the way to Pluto in light speed ×9. I wake up and the second this call hits, it's insane speed. Everyone is saying yes, and as yes brokers, it's how do we get them to the most frictionless yes? People are galvanized. Our call center, we're dancing till 10:30 at night, blasting music. Ben Fox, Adam, Krista, Jared, all the guys calling me at 11:30 at night. It is just absolutely beautiful and exciting, and I'm present to that. And I just got off the call with John Baker and his team at Home Spine and Wellness, 20 people, and in 30 minutes they were blown away at 7% of the formula. And the ability that we've gotten in our ecosystem to sharpen our language, I'm noticing that it's landing quicker. And as someone who's obsessed with language and training, it makes me so happy because it's landing quicker. And that means that culture is present. That means that ecosystem merging is present. And that really excites me.
Yeah, and so thank you, Fran, and just stay live. We have a couple of amazing people I want to just connect with and talk about in the context of the formula in a moment. Guys, just thank you so much for the energy. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the momentum. We broke the bank yesterday, and we've expanded the capacity of the huddle, so let's keep bringing people and inviting people. I believe we now have the capacity for 500 people per morning, and my hallucination is we'll begin hitting that 500 number before Christmas. So fantastic. Let's keep the power of one going. In addition, what Fernando's talking about, for those that are new and for those that are here every day, let's keep remembering that influence and these abilities we're talking about are not linear. Like, this is one of the key baseline entry points. It is the non-linear nature of what we're doing here. The non-linear nature of how we, in Unblinded Sales Mastery, seeing what you don't see, but the fun and excitement of exponentially growing your sales. We're not just here to talk about the fun and excitement, but that's a piece of it. We're here to realize that sales acceleration is about exponential growth and the massive differential of exponential versus linear. And we'll get into all kinds of things. And Jay Abraham, in fact, is going to do hours on Beyond Exponential on day 2 of January 10, 11, and 12. And he's the root of my exponential marketing thinking going back 22 years. And he's now talking about Beyond Exponential. So I'm super excited. And that fits into our process mastery components of the formula. And that's a story for a different day. But the story for today on Trajectory Tuesday is to realize that mastery, simply put, is not about linear growth. It's about exponential growth. And exponential growth is rooted in mastery of the formula, or process mastery, or influence mastery, and self-mastery. I was on a call last night with one of my super dear friends who I love to no end, who's witnessed magic happen for him. He was my client, is my client, and one of my best friends in the world, Mark Wachowski. And Mark and I were communicating last night, and he watches the videos. You know, he saw the magic of Arizona's largest jury verdict in, I think, the past 8 years, one of the top 100 in the country in 2016 as well. And even though, and this is a key, even though we could see something happen, and he believes I have the absolute ultimate ability to create ridiculous magic, right? Even though that's there, sometimes, like, he and I had a beautiful conversation last night about, like, hey, like, you know, when you say, like, Zeus energy and you say the energy is like, you know, it's like a whole new language. Is it really necessary to have a new language? And my response is yes, but it's not a new language. It's a language for defining things that exist. Like, I didn't invent them, right? They exist, but people don't talk about them. And I'll say it, like, super directly. Like, Oprah is not training people how to be Oprah. I will hallucinate that my ability to train people to be Mark Wachowski's is like 100 times his ability to train people to be Mark Wachowski. My ability to train somebody to be Tony Robbins, right? Listen, Tony's a genius, so I don't want to say it's better than Tony's, but it's certainly not what he's doing in a room. He's not training people to be Tony Robbins, right? He's not training people. He is as great an influence mastery genius as walks the earth, but he's not teaching people to do it. And the reason he is because he deploys the 4 steps, the 10 indispensable elements, and the 4 energies so masterfully. If you watch him do an intervention, that's what's happening. There's, like, pattern interrupts. There's Zeus energy and decision, aspirational energy about dreams and where you're going. There's goddess energy and love, right? And there's fun energy. He makes people laugh. He uses humor as a pattern interrupting force. And his mastery of the ability, using Tony as an example, his mastery of the ability to move in and out of the energies is, like, at the highest level I've ever encountered. It's truly unbelievable. But it's the same thing that Oprah does, same thing that Robin Williams did. It's the same thing that all these influencers do, everyone who has the highest level of mastery on producing outcome with people. So on these calls, what we're doing is, it's not like, okay, like, great, like, here I am this morning, we're going to have a nice call, I'm going to get a little bit inspired. And that's amazing to be a little bit inspired, fantastic. But what we're really rooted in is we're rooted in the process of sharpening your ability to scale. And we say scale, simply put, we mean to generate a higher number of ecosystem mergers that are frictionless, which produce a higher quality and quantity of sales meetings for you. That's a yes or no meeting where people can buy your services and make a decision. realizing that there is an influence mastery mechanism of going from hello to yes with people in each of those things, to merge ecosystems with you, to build a frictionless relationship with you, to say yes and no. Guys, mute yourself. Can we just mute? I think somebody, guys, somebody just became unmuted. I think you're not sure. Just, yep, thank you. As well as our self-mastery to deal with ourselves to take massive action. So Fernando, for example, has literally in the past 60 days exponentially increased his ability to explain to people the formula, to get better at going from hello to yes with people in what he's seeking yeses in. And it's not because he became more manipulative. It's not because he became more tricky. It's because he became better at articulating what he's doing. He became more certain. He became more clear in utilizing the energies, and his ability to have yeses come has exponentially increased. Fernando, true or false?
100% true. Just yesterday and this morning, it's every single day it's a new access. It's a new distinction.
Yeah. And quite frankly, the proximity of having Adam come into the equation has only made Fernando better.
I
right?
agree.
Adam stands as explain why you think. I know I'm going to give you, could be multiple reasons, but I have a couple. What do you think, Fernando? Because that's the power of proximity and why you being on this call will make you better for the same reason that Adam's arrival has made Fernando better. Like the arrival of people here, the example, the proximity, the people you're around, your influence mastery will become the average of the people here. At least your influence mastery will become the average of the process mastery of the people here, and your self-mastery as well, which is why we're building the most powerful community in the world focused on the acceleration of our sales, like mastery. There's no group in the world like this. This is the most powerful group on earth to create that acceleration, which, by the way, generates more money in less time with more magic, and like solves giant problems, like influencers influencing influencers to merge ecosystems for 1 + 1 = 1 trillion relationships to make the world an even greater place. That's what this huddle call is. That's what launches in January. Go ahead, Fernando. So why Adam's arrival makes you better. And by the way, Fred and Dan Giltrude, hang with me. We're coming soon. Good.
Yes. So thank you, Mr. Callagy. So Adam jumping in. Well, first of all, he is probably one of the most loving, dear, caring, emotional, heart on the sleeve individuals I've ever met. He is like instant gravitational pull, not only in like interested, but more in like, man, I just trust and love, and he cares and he wants to listen. So that drew me to him and many other people now that I've been in his proximity. On top of that, the wealth of knowledge that this man brings, you know, having built a call center from 0 to 500, and I'll let you share the story, like is mind-boggling how he can not only have like these tools, but can also have organization and structure around like the world of sales and process. It is just absolutely worth being around. And hearing his language on agreement formation, hearing his language on like how he conveys a story, hearing it over and over and over, I have like a superhuman ability to take information, synthesize it, and like sharpen it and translate it. So being around Adam gives only access more to what we're doing. And what I'm realizing and pitching and catching with Adam is that he's already been in the formula. He just didn't even know it. And now he has a language. He has a system to share it and teach it. So we've been pitching and catching, you know, all day long, 24 hours a day.
Yeah. And how about this? Does he also represent, I mean, he probably represents 50 more things, but how about this as well? Does he represent and bring certainty for you on the ability to rapidly scale? Or does he give you new access to that certainty?
Yeah. In his mind, like the way he walks around all day, he's like, yeah, 1,000-person call center. Like, okay, it'll be done tomorrow. And it's like, how, what? But he just, there's his swagger and his confidence and his certainty in his language is like, this is so. And like he left a crazy story in a crazy way with all faith. And there's like 0 ounce of fear or doubt. It's like now, it must happen now with love and like confidence.
Yeah, and one more thing. Now watch this as well, because we talk about our fear and our significance issues and the challenges that we can face, and ripping it open and being totally real. Did Adam's initial arrival bring you some level of uncertainty, if not some fear for a brief time?
Yes, it did. That was the initial reaction. It was
Fernando's like, really? Like, Fernando's like, really? We're going here? we're going here.
You know what? At this point, like, let's just do it.
Yeah,
You make me laugh every time.
this is not at least a little Howard Stern like that happens here every day. And by the way, I don't watch Howard Stern. I haven't watched him 20 years. But when I did, like, I don't mean the salacious things. I mean his ability to ask like the most penetrating and real questions. Like that happens here. So like, yeah, it's like what happens to me? Like what? And then in a short period of time, to Fernando's credit, to Adam's credit, and quite frankly, to the formula's credit and my implementation of it, we've come together and built an amazing synergy. So it's like 1 + 1 = 1 trillion, not 1 + 1 = division and pain and upset. Is that fair, Fernando?
That is 100% true. And actually, I was on the call with Adam yesterday, and he said something that you said, and it landed. And I love that when language translates like that. He said, if you don't have an agreement, you're in disagreement. And I was like, damn, that's awesome. And that's something you're so good at, Sean, is that you do questions like that because we're like in the middle of videos and you're like, well, what Fernando's actually thinking is this. And like, you're not even looking at me. I'm not even talking. And you read my mind. It's crazy. But you're always so upfront about creating agreements and removing distortion, especially with the people you care and love about. So even though, yes, that showed up, that was present, we juggled it, we sat in it, we spoke about it, and now that it's been completely flipped. And if anything, all everyone wants from the core team is to like share everyone's story and see everyone's grow. And in my world, it's the best team I've ever, it's the best lineup I've ever seen, let alone been a part of.
No, thank you, brother. And to your credit, your growth and just your approach to things, your being in your heart in the last 90 days has been something to behold. And I'm incredibly proud of you and super thankful. So amazing, amazing job. So I want to do.
I'm going to jump in 2 seconds. Fernando,
yeah, go ahead.
It's been an absolute blessing to work with you, and you have helped me exponentially grow in so many areas of life process. And I really feel that you're telling me how much I'm helping you. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there all day, and I'm just beyond impressed by your ability to convey the formula. And yesterday, I know Sean felt it as well. Seeing you on that call and just seeing your energy, I mean, you were bringing such another level of energy to the table. I am just so proud of everything that you're doing, and I can't say enough. And it's funny because I felt those initial few days of hesitation, and to see it come, really full circle, and to see what we're doing at this point, it's been incredible. So again, thank you for all those kind words, but it's just the beginning, brother. It's just the beginning.
Yeah, and if you're out there going like, wait, so what does this have to do with me? What does this have to do with me? Right? Here's what it has to do with you. First, what it has to do with you, right? And I'm not saying most people think that, but if you are, what it has to do with you is an example of what's possible. To find people to help you scale and grow, to ecosystem merge with like Fernando and Adam. And by the way, as Fernando and Adam are here and this ecosystem grows, you win. Like I win because of what Tony Robbins built. Like I win. My law firm wins because when I walk in with the formula to an amazing group of people and entrepreneurs already assembled for me, and yes, I had to join Platinum Partnership and pay to go to the events, I walk into an amazing group of humans already assembled to meet, to co-create with, to build ecosystems with. It's assembled. We are assembling that here for you as well. That's what January 10, 11, and 12 is, but in a room that's going to be completely cultivated to accelerate that and to teach you what to do with it. Like I have won massively in every room I've ever walked into. And by the way, that room wins. I always add more value than I take, right? I add massive value. So we're part of what the mastery, one of the 100 things of mastery that are coming out of these phone calls and this training is how do you walk into an ecosystem and win? So this is an ecosystem. What do you do with it? Like, do you sit in the back row and have nothing happen? Or how do you go from hello to yes? How do you create value and have value come to you? In every room I've ever been in, going back 22 years when I first started learning the work of Tony Robbins, Jay Abraham, Dale Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, the amazing book, How to Make a Fortune from Public Speaking, and the 100 other books in coaching, some great, some terrible, some medium, it became that mechanism to win. Okay, and that's what we're doing here, and amongst many things. It's the formulas, more money, less time, more magic, like to make incredible things happen in your life and the lives of other people that you love and care about, right? That's what we're doing. But not just because you feel good, because you learn how to lead, create outcomes, go from hello to yes, scale and grow. Like that's what's happening, right? So with that said, a couple people that I want who are amazing ecosystem partners of mine, who are amazing people building and part of this community. First, America's Accountant, Mr. Dan Geltrude, are you out there?
I'm here, Sean.
It is like the voice of God from the beyond as Dan Geltrude speaks. What is up, Mr. Dan Geltrude? How are you?
I'm doing great, Sean. Thanks for inviting me onto the call.
Yeah, okay. So many of you have seen videos with Dan. You've heard Dan's name, and this is not like, oh, let's say hi to Dan just so like it feels good. There's a couple of access points. There's so much that we could learn about Dan. And by the way, it's always within the formula. Whenever we talk to anybody, it's like we're going to analyze and connect to certain aspects of the formula. So Dan is on national news multiple times per week. He's on Fox regularly. He's on CNN, other places as well. And it's interesting because Dan developed the name of America's Accountant. So like on national TV, he's introduced frequently as like, hey, it's America's Accountant, Dan Geltrude. So first, think about the unique identity power of being on national television and having someone introduce you as America's Accountant. Like Dan created that. You can create that. So think of ecosystem merging, being on television and making that happen. So right, that's like one huge access point. And in a nutshell, Dan, right, why do you think, and I'm going to explain it in hello to yes formula, but give me the 30-second version of how Dan Geltrude, who, by the way, works with family offices all the way to professional practitioners, unbelievable practice, so much to be proud of, you know, in Geltrude Accounting. In fact, for Unblinded, they're doing work with us and for us in that space, and I'm immensely grateful, you know, for Dan's, you know, wisdom and brilliance. So Dan, how is it that you think you were repetitively brought back? Because yeah, you had a publicist, yes, you did, you know, those steps in that work. But what brought you repetitively back to television to have them ask you, like, not only questions now about accounting, but they may ask you questions about, like, Ponzi schemes in Nigeria. They may ask you questions about, like, what you think about prison reform in Turkey. Like, what the heck are you doing on national television being asked questions about everything? Why is it that they brought Dan Geltrude back? You share it 30 seconds. I will translate into the formula.
So what happened, Sean, is I started appearing on national TV, primarily focused in on tax issues, because as a CPA, of course, that would make the most sense. But what happened from there is the questions started to, I'll say, creep out into other areas. And each time I was able to deliver a logical, simple, understandable answer. And from that point on, it kind of became people who were interviewing me actually started believing Dan Geltrude knows everything. It's beyond being America's Accountant, and started just asking me questions from whatever was on their mind. And of course, I need to be prepared for wherever it may go to deliver an answer that people can relate to.
Yeah. Now, Dan, isn't it true that very often you have no idea what the answer is when somebody asks you a question on national television? Isn't that true? Isn't it true that that happens not infrequently? Is that fair?
Yes, it happens at least once every time I'm on whatever show, that somebody will ask me a question that I don't actually know the answer to.
Right. So let's check in. First, can't you hear the certainty in Dan's voice, right? And in our language, certainty is called congruence, right? Congruence means the alignment of somebody's words, their vocal qualities, and their physiology. Like, we can't see Dan's body, but I'm super confident that his body is in complete alignment with the certainty you feel in his voice, right? As well as the certainty of the words he's using. So your words, your vocal qualities, your physical body. So for today on Trajectory Tuesday, one access point, if we're modeling the brilliance of Dan Geltrude, is to make sure we're in our indispensable element called congruence, which is the alignment of our words, our vocal qualities, and our body language. And you go, okay, great, Sean, thanks. How do I do that? Ready? Tighten your stomach muscles. Like, tighten your stomach muscles. Engage the muscles physically in your body. Turn on your muscles. You go, what? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, turn them all on. Make sure you've turned on your calves, turned on your abs, turned on your facial muscles. Do jumping jacks. Like, you want to turn them on? Do 50 quick jumping jacks. Do whatever number of jumping jacks. Turn your body on, right? Clap vigorously, right? You'll turn on certain chest, arms, and hand muscles. Tighten your abs. Do, like, body weight squats, like, you know, drop in at, like, 10 or, like, 20 or 30, right? And in that moment, by doing those things, and yell, like, go somewhere and yell a little bit, or at least mimic yelling. If you do those things, you have turned your body on. You'll be in your body as opposed to in your head. We get nervous, we move into our head. When we're in our body, like, you see me on videos, I move a lot, right? I've always communicated that way. Like, if you watch videos of me at 14 years old in at a football game that I was playing in, or when I was hurt even a freshman, like, I was screaming, yelling, fired up, engaged. Like, you don't have to be screaming and yelling, but being in our body brings back congruence. Dan is not in his head. He's in his body. And to my point, Dan's a genius, but Dan might be able to speak for the next week and not think to tell people to engage their body, turn their body on, and how to get inside their body. Touch your heart. Touch your stomach. Like, where your energy, where your physical, like, touch goes, those parts of your body become engaged, become present to them. Not your head, like turning on parts of your body, right? Before I get in this call, I was cranking this morning. I was cranking Lions in the Wild, and I was turning my body on and getting ready to be in my body, not in my head. And that's what people are like, oh my God, you have so much energy. Yeah. Like, I was tired. I've been going like crazy. I get tired, but I turn my body on. I turned my energy on. You could do the same. And Dan resonates with, like, his energy being turned on. Dan, does that communicate to you that you're in your body, not in your head?
I never thought of it that way, Sean, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that Dan does what I just said. You go, wait a minute, Dan, do you do body weight squats? Do you do the jump? No, I'm not saying he does that. But I'm saying that Dan's default is being in his body. He's got a powerful resonating voice, right? He's not in his head. His voice is coming from deeper inside of him. His, like, stomach, his chest, like, he's in his body, right? I'm giving you access to how to get into your body also. Dan might just naturally be conditioned to be in his body. Maybe he does other things. I'm not quite sure. It doesn't matter what Dan does. He's in there. He's a master. He might be an unconscious competent in that way, right? Or he may not be. It doesn't matter. What matters is what we just said is how you get there, right? Now, one more piece, drop the mic, and then we're going to turn to Fred for a moment. So Dan, now interesting piece. We talk about ecosystem merging and process mastery, and I want to give a unique access. A year ago, a little more than a year ago, because of Rob Gill, that's how I met Dan Geltrude. Rob and Dan were on a board together, Rob of Epic and our friend and partner. And so I meet Dan. Dan does a beautiful job speaking, rocks it from the stage. I get up and rock it, and I think we're both like, wow, like, there's some, like, really good things there. But eventually Dan starts, like, watching my videos, and he's like, what is this guy doing? Like, I don't get it. Like, he belongs on television. Dan at some point comes up to me. He's like, I really like you. You're really talented. But why are you doing these videos? And, like, you should be on television. Like, I don't get it. And this is coming from America's Accountant. And with respect in my heart, I was like, yeah, Dan just doesn't get this yet, right? 6 months later, and I'm not sure the exact timeline, Dan's like, hey, could you, like, coach me? Because I'm seeing things happening that I'm not understanding kind of why and how they're happening. Was that true, Dan, or not?
That's 100% true, Sean.
Yeah, and here's the quick access. So Dan is successful. Dan has, like, created banks. Dan has had exits. He's a genius. He's unbelievable going from hello to yes with people. And the access point is this. My hallucination is that Dan, in all his success and all his brilliance, right? Because there's more for everybody. I could take any human on the face of the earth and myself, right? And I can coach them to the next breakthrough, right? The next level of their ecosystem merging breakthrough, whatever. And I mean anyone. I walk into every room I am in and say, okay, what's not here and why? Everywhere, every single time, okay? So, and same thing for myself, right? This isn't putting me on a pedestal. It's saying the formula takes us everywhere. So my hallucination for Dan was that there, and this is what's developing now, is there wasn't a consistent platform of him merging ecosystems with the level of people that Dan has the talent and skill to work with. Like he has family office clients. Like what would it look like if Dan creates an ecosystem that he's giving something to people in family offices or to the highest end, you know, folks in the professional services world? Like what would that look like for Dan, which is the ongoing conversation, the beginning seeds of things that we're building. And by the way, what's going to come out for Dan from like Unblinded and from being here. So it was like that readily apparent in a nanosecond that television equals massive increase, watch this, to Dan's unique identity. So it's like instant credibility, right? It's there. But a separate question is, what do you do with that unique identity credibility? Like there's the first thing is going from hello to yes. So people are going to be predisposed to say yes to Dan because of his unique identity credibility. That is a completely separate and distinct question for what Dan is doing to create ecosystem mergers intentionally in places and with people to use the superpower that television gives him. Does that communicate, Dan?
Yes, it does. Look, in short, Sean, so that everybody understands, I basically said to Sean, I think I've done the hard part, the heavy lift, and that is being able to get on national TV on a regular basis. I don't think that's an easy thing for people to do. What I can't figure out is where do I go from here? Help me.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happening. And Dan's practice, I am committed, right? If Dan is committed to watching that double in 2020. And that's an easy thing to have happen. And if Adam Gugino is listening, he's giggling, saying, only double? That's silly, right? So we're going to have a lot of fun. Dan, I am incredibly grateful. You are a brother, a friend. You are so generous in everything that you've been doing for Unblinded and what's happening. You know, I would invite you, challenge you. I know you have awesome things you do in the morning to be on these huddles as consistently as possible and to spread the word. Like even if you can't be here, your team being here will help create that exponential growth. Like you want them to be listening to the likes of Adam and Darcy and like, you know, yourself and Rob Gill and Fernando and Jared Yellen and Mona and unbelievable people who've done unbelievable things, and every David Dean and, you know, Fred Pintos. And I mean, you know, the list is endless of incredible Tony Rodriguez, ridiculous people here, and Kelly Hanna and 100 others, right? Those are the folks that you want proximity for your team too. So Dan, super thankful, you know, for your sharing a bit this morning. And we have a lot to do even this week, brother. So thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah. So, okay. And then in addition, and this is the power of ecosystem. Fred, Mr. Fred Pinto, are you out there, sir? Did we lose Fred? Is Fred unmuted? Go 3, 2, 1. Okay. I'm not sure if we have Fred. I will tell the story of Fred coming up. I'll just do a teaser for both Fred and I. One thing for the world of Calgary law that I wanted to see a higher level of mastery, amongst many things, it was in our ability to create, you know, a massive next level of what we would call in the legal space, like super high transactional work, like mergers and acquisitions, intellectual property, like that space of doing next level work for businesses. And I had said
Hello,
it
Sean.
to
Sean, can you hear me now?
Yes, I got you, brother. How are you?
I'm so sorry about that. I hadn't realized that I had been muted by the system, so apologies for that. I was actually speaking and you couldn't hear me, so I'm on now.
Okay, brother. So we wanted this level of acceleration, and so first of all, I put out the intention But second of all, I believe that intention is the beginning, a valuable beginning, but only the beginning. And what goes on from intention is the ability to take massive action. So now watch this, because I'm adding massive value in the Tony Robbins ecosystem, and because I've developed a beautiful relationship with Scott Humphrey, right, who runs Platinum and Tony Robbins, and I've spoken on stage, and I add massive value in the room, and many different ways. Scott frequently asks me to talk to people about Platinum Partnership and those sorts of things. So we're in Amsterdam. Scott grabs me and says, hey, I got somebody I'd really appreciate you talking to. I said, Scott, of course. And he brings me over, and it's Fred Pinto. And so Fred Pinto is an attorney from Canada who has massive, like international level expertise in the space of what he and we now are calling innovation law. Like, how do you create more value in your business? How do you think about scaling, growth, not accruing liabilities, accruing assets in your ecosystem, mergers and value, like all of the mechanisms that we talk about in Unblinded. So, Fred, we speak initially about Platinum Partnership. But what happens from that point is we realize that there's an unbelievable synergy, because I have the ability to create massive access for Fred, who already has a beautiful, successful practice, but I could create more access. Fred fills a void that exists in our space, and that's what ecosystem merging, influencers influencing influencers to merge ecosystems for 1 + 1 = 1 trillion, or at least 10 relationships looks like, to make the world an even greater place. So Fred, let's go with this. What is it that you saw in me, so I can examine the formula, that made you say yes to Platinum and you say yes to wanting to do something with me? What were the characteristics you saw? And then we'll list them, and then I'll share the same about you. So like that.
Yeah, 100%, Sean. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to these calls, and I'm going to start being a regular participant in them. And I just feel the energy and the value that I'm getting out of your distinctions and your insights. And that was something that I felt really right at the beginning. So when Scott was trying to get me to sign up to Platinum, I need a little bit more. I understood the value in terms of the Platinum Partnership, but I said, I need it to be relevant to my business. And this is where, I spoke to him about, my limitation in terms of, just having access to more. In my practice, we've done some amazing things for a lot of entrepreneurs, but, we're kind of like limited. We have so many internal referrals that we have no time really to get out there and really scale the system and really bring a lot of the magic of what we do to more entrepreneurs. So I said, for me, having access to a broader ecosystem, US-based, in the law space would be something that would be amazing. And this is where he introduced me to you. And Sean, to answer your question, what I felt from you right from the beginning is a level of integrity and honesty and connection at the heart level that really just was immediate for me. And that was, to me, everything else that we talk about in terms of adding value for entrepreneurs and business owners. There's a lot of mechanics that I feel very, very confident we're going to bring to the table very, very quickly. But the one thing to me that has to be the running thread is a heart connection. It has to be based around integrity. It has to be based around ethics. It has to be based around honesty. To me, this is the product. This is the core of the DNA of the product. And I could be doing what we're doing at scale with people who do not have that connection, and I literally will turn it down, and I have turned it down several times from several national firms because I have not felt that heart connection. So Sean, that in addition to everything else that you've built in your life, I understood extremely quickly in a matter of minutes the value that you and Caligula bring to the table, and I was blown away, and I signed up to Platinum 20 minutes later.
No, amazing. Thank you, Fred. And so what Fred is saying is, right, that we're attracted and drawn to people that are not in their head, that are not like, do I like this person? Do I like Fred or not? Like, I instantly just love people, like indispensable element. And I didn't always show up that way. Like, I was raised in a family that said, judge people, that said, be careful. People want to take something from you. They want your money. Oh, we didn't have money then. They want your time. They want like an extra piece of pizza. Like, don't let people get over on you. Like I had a beautiful, loving, amazing family internally. But when it came to the world of quote unquote strangers, like strangers were dangerous. They were thieves. They were tricky. They wanted to do things, right? So I had to condition myself and change my belief structure. So when I could show up and meet Fred, I'm in my heart. I'm loving him. I'm not in my head. And I'm just giving to another human being authentically from my heart. So indispensable element number one is love people. And when you're loving people, they feel it. And when you're in your heart, you show up that way. And it's one of 10 indispensable elements, 4 steps and 4 energies, but totally being there present in my heart, my goddess energy right from the beginning when I meet Fred, which makes him feel comfortable. And of course, I start with the rapport building questions. Hey, Fred, where you're from? You know, oh my goodness, like what brought you to Tony? All of the rapport building questions begin. And Fred, in a very short time, is seeing his future in me. Now, conversely, I see the same thing in Fred. I see somebody who is wide open, authentic, true, real, caring, passionate, like Dan Geltrude, super congruent in his communication. He's powerful, he's strong, but there's love and humility and massive certainty. All unique identity, hero characteristics that is all present for Fred. So with Fred, there is a massive access for us and for him to growth and acceleration, and it's totally crazy and insane. So, and what Fred is up to in the world, and we'll talk about this on different calls and huddles, is helping like Callagy Law. He's helping Unblinded. He's helping different places and spaces, not because it's funny, like he's shifting the concept of like legal protection into like value and growth and scale. And we'll talk more about that different times. Fred is going to be one of the speakers on January 10, 11, and 12. You're like, oh my God, like snooze city, like a lawyer is going to talk about like what, like protecting myself? No. A lawyer is going to talk about how the formula works to grow and scale, and how it's step 4 when we talk about agreement formation. Like Fernando a few minutes ago was saying, like, we're not in agreement, we're in disagreement. We're going to talk about how to get into agreement with people to create massive acceleration and synergy, so we don't have those uncomfortable, weird, like uncertain moments. Like that's what's happening. So Fred, I am super grateful for you. And guys, we are definitely going to start, continue to limit the length of the call. Like our outcome is 15 minutes. We're building massive momentum. Today is the longest we've gone in a long time other than Thanksgiving, where intention went long. So we want to keep it tight. So Fred, I'm super grateful for you. Any final, quick 15-second sign off from you?
Thank you, Sean. I really, really appreciate it. Super, super stoked to be part of this community and adding value and teaching entrepreneurs and business owners how to quickly make 5 or 6 small decisions that are going to help them protect and grow their businesses and secure their assets. So super looking forward to everything.
Yeah, brother. Massive growth and what's happening. So final quick thing. Is there anybody who wants to unmute and share a win somebody got in their heart? It doesn't have to be a win like, hey, I just merged ecosystems with America's Accountant or Fred Pinto. It could be a win like, you know what, I was really scared and I shot my first video, or like I committed to something, like I did something. So like the wins don't have to be crazy. Anybody want to unmute? We're going to wrap up in 2 minutes.
Jamila,
yeah,
North
I can hear
Carolina?
you. Yes, how are you?
Great. Oh my goodness. So first of all, your assessment is perfect, powerful, and it called me out. So I'm a donkey, but I'm okay with this because I have a starting place to learn all of these techniques. So I wanted to share that.
I wasn't even a donkey on the quiz. So what we're hearing is take the sales mastery quiz and quick 10 seconds, because we got to wrap it. 10 seconds. What's your breakthrough win? Is it being donkey and taking the quiz, or something else?
Yes, donkey enough to keep on the momentum and learning from you guys. And I manifested last night a DWD ticket, so I'm coming down.
Boom.
Yes.
And we're gonna have an awesome event tomorrow night, Wednesday. It'll be on. We'll put on the Facebook page. We're gonna be all there and making stuff happen. Hey, the power of one. Make sure you're getting your one out there. We got a lot of noise. Have an amazing trajectory Tuesday. Thank you, Dan Geltrude. Thank you, Fred Pinto.
Hey,
Thank
Sean.
you, everyone. Yes.
This is Darcy. Can I say something really quick?
Yes, Darcy, go.
So yeah, I shot my first video and people were saying, Darcy, step up. And I probably cried for a few hours before and I had anxiety afterwards because I was scared of being too real and too raw. But that's how I am. And I was blown away by the support. And I'm just really grateful. And now all the fear's gone. So I guess
Boom.
You can listen to things, but until I do it, I don't necessarily know how it works. So I'm really grateful for all your support. You guys are incredible.
Darcy, amazing. Congratulations. And by the way, you can be real, raw, loving, powerful, fun, aspirational. You could be all of those things on demand and intentionally to love and serve the world like you are who you decide to be, each and every one of us. Have an amazing trajectory Tuesday, the power of one. Bring people here, be back on the huddles. Let's rock. Have a great day. Thanks.
See you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank
Bye,
you,
everyone.
everyone.
Have a great day. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Go kill the day.
Have a great day, guys.
Rock it.
Thanks, everybody.
Have an awesome day.
Thank you.
Everybody coming in tomorrow night. I can't wait to see you. We've been at the convention center since yesterday, getting ready for everyone, and much love. Safe travels.
Have an amazing time at DWD.
Thanks, Kelly.
I was helping a client to sit.
Have a great day.
Thanks.
Show up.